Episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get right to it. So, there were some trades in the NBA that would have shifted the balance of power. That didn't happen. Okay. There were some trades that happened then at 11:59 p.m. It did not happen. Okay. So, like the Scottie Pippen trade to Seattle, the deal was done. The deal was done, but Seattle backed out at the last minute. The James Worthy, Byron Scott trade to the Dallas Mavericks for Roy Tarpley and Mark Aguirre, that deal was done. It fell through. Best thing that didn't happen. So what if I told you that the Chicago Bulls were interested in trading Michael Jordan? I kid you not, okay? I kid you not. I've read this in 2 books about Michael Jordan. I've read this in 2 books about Michael Jordan, okay? And it is true. It's true. I've read it in 2 books, okay? So, in Michael Jordan's book, I got it right there. So in Michael Jordan's book, A Life, that I read, in 1988, the Bulls were interested in trading Jordan to the Los Angeles Clippers. That's right, you heard it. The Bulls were interested in dealing Jordan to the Los Angeles Clippers, okay? And Jordan was coming off one of the closest to perfection seasons ever. Scoring champion, MVP, All-Star Game MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He was all that and a bag of chips in 1988, okay? So, Donald Sterling was interested in trading for Michael Jordan, and the Bulls were interested in trading, okay? So, in 1988, the Bulls were interested in dealing him to the Clippers for the 1st and the 6th picks in the 1988 NBA draft, okay? That deal, needless to say, fell through. And if Jerry Krause made that trade, they probably would have burned his house down. They probably would have burned his house down if that trade had went through. The Bulls fans would have burned his house down, okay? So yeah, the deal fell through. So the details of the trade, if the Clippers had gotten Michael Jordan, the Bulls would have got in return the 1st and 6th picks, Michael Cage, Mike Woodson, and Ken Norman. So if Jordan was traded to the Clippers, they would have had Michael Cage, Mike Woodson, Ken Norman, and the 1st and the 6th pick in the 1988 NBA draft, okay? And I believe the Bulls would have received, the Bulls received, and I believe the Clippers would have received Charles Oakley, I believe, and Sam Vincent, if I'm not mistaken. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. So, but the Clippers would have gotten players and draft picks. The Bulls wouldn't got players and draft picks. But the deal fell through. And I know And I was only 3 years old in 1988. So I remember nothing about that. But I've read some reports. And I've read it in the book. But, yeah. The deal fell through. I'm glad it did. Ironically, they kind of got a Michael Jordan lookalike in the 1988 draft. He goes by the name of the General, Gary Grant, who wore number 23 and looked like Michael in a bit of a way, just a little bit, okay? He looked like Michael Jordan just a little bit. They got a Michael Jordan lookalike in Gary Grant. So, yeah, you think Michael Jordan would really want to play with guys like Ken Bannister, Jeff Martin, Benoit Benjamin? You really think Michael wants to play with guys of that heck caliber? Really? Nah. Mm-mm. So, Jordan nearly traded to the Clippers. Now, I do remember this one. Kobe almost being dealt to the Bulls. I remember that one. Okay? Because Kobe was going through a phase. Kobe was going through a rocky relationship with the Lakers around 2006, 2007. And he wanted to be traded. Kobe made that clear several times, okay? He wanted to be traded, okay? So, if the Lakers traded Kobe to the Bulls, because that's where he wanted to go, he wanted to go to Chicago, the Lakers would have received Joakim Noah, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng, and Tyrese Thomas. Okay? So, but the deal fell through because, well, time out. The deal was done. Okay? The deal was done. But see, here's what happened. Okay? The deal was done. Kobe was going to waive his no trade clause. But he wanted to play with Luol Deng. Yeah. He wanted to come to Chicago to play with Luol Deng because he felt Deng was a good fit alongside. Kobe thought he was a good fit alongside him. Okay. So he was going to go to Chicago. He wanted to play with Luol Deng. But the Bulls were going to trade him to the Lakers as part of the Kobe package. So Kobe said no. Okay. Yeah, so Kobe said no. And how history would have been different. The Lakers would not have gone back-to-back in 2009 and 2010 if that deal went through. And the Bulls never would have won 6 championships if that deal went through, okay? And just another deal that fell through of note. Allen Iverson was traded to the Detroit Pistons in 2001. The deal was done. But Matt Geiger wouldn't waive his 15% trade kick in his contract. If Matt Geiger waived that, Allen Iverson would have been a Detroit Piston in the 2001 season instead of later on in his career. So, which ironically he ended up going to Detroit. So is that, and also a few weeks ago I made a video about the 98 Western Conference Finals, Lakers versus Jazz. It was worse than I thought. Okay, so I watched the first 3 games. Okay, I watched the first 3 games, and except for game 2, the Lakers were bad. The Lakers were bad. Okay, they were bad. Then I watched game 4. Okay. Then I watched game 4, the NBA on NBC. And I was watching game 4. I was just sitting there shaking my head the whole time, going like, I watched how Utah played in Game 4. Utah did whatever they wanted. I mean, the Lakers didn't offer no resistance until it was too late. They offered no resistance. And I'm sitting there shaking my head like, God, how many breakdowns can you have in a game? It was like, damn. The Utah Jazz did whatever they wanted the entire series, especially in Game 4. And I'm just sitting there shaking my head like, damn. Oh, God. And I would encourage y'all to go and watch Game 4. You can YouTube it, okay? You can YouTube Western Conference Finals, 1998, Game 4, Jazz versus Lakers, and it'll come up from my boy, Michael Hackett, okay? So, yeah, you can watch the game on YouTube. I would encourage y'all to go and watch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Karl Malone did whatever he wanted. The Utah Jazz bench, they did whatever they wanted. John Stockton, despite the fact he only scored 8 points, he did whatever he wanted. Howard Isley had 9. Shandon Anderson was big. Chris Morris was big. Antoine Carr. Jazz bench was pretty damn good the whole series. I remember at halftime, Hannah Storm had a joke. Hannah Storm had a joke that said, because Jerry West had written a letter to the Lakers towards the end of the 1998 season. Okay, you're letting this thing slip away. Okay, then the Lakers went on a great run to finish at 61-21, and then Derek Fisher wrote a letter to the players before Game 4. Okay, and Hannah Storm had a joke at halftime. She said, "It's funny how the Lakers are great at writing letters, but they can't stop the mailman. How ironic." I was like, oh, God. That was funny. Yeah. But Magic Johnson hit the nail on the head. No emotion, no passion. The Lakers played flat the whole series. They were hanging their heads the whole series. And, man, it was just bad. It was just bad. It was just bad, especially Game 4. Like I said, I was just shaking my head the whole time. Like, the Utah Jazz are doing whatever the F they want. And the Lakers are offering zero resistance until it was way too late. Way too late. Okay. The Jazz led by 13 at the start of the fourth quarter, but the Lakers came back. But they never took the lead. The Lakers came back, made it an exciting, close game at the finish, but they never took the lead. They never took the lead. So, yeah. So, woe to the 98 Lakers. WOE. Whoa. It was like Nick Van Exel said. The Utah Jazz viewed him as project guys. Behind the back dribbles, spectacular plays, while the Jazz doing a bunch of pick and rolls and little things. Utah was mentally and physically tougher. They don't get caught up in the officiating. They don't get down on each other. They don't complain. They stand as a team and they stay focused. Which is probably why they gave the Chicago Bulls a run for their money. 2 straight years, 1997 and 98. Yeah. So, and John Sally mentioned this at halftime. John Sally said, in that locker room, everybody's going to take it upon themselves individually to get it done. And John Sally said this will be a scattered group when they come back out for the second half, which they pretty much were. Okay. So, woe to the 98 Lakers. WOE. All right. Last thing. While I was watching Game 4, Karl Malone had an unusual superstition in his playing career. Karl Malone would get a new pair of socks at the start of every year, and he would wear those same one pair of socks for the entire season. Okay? That was Karl Malone's unusual superstition. He got a new pair of socks at the start of the season, and he wore those same socks every single game. Every single game. That was Karl Malone's superstition. Can you imagine how many holes are in his socks from wearing the same pair every game? But I was thinking about other superstitions too. I heard, like Steve Smith, when he played with Harold Miner in Miami. Steve Smith said everything Harold Miner did, he touched with his nose. Before we got on the bus, he touched the bus with his nose. Before he shot free throws, he touched the ball with his nose. Everything he did, he touched with his nose. Which is probably why Harold Miner won the slam dunk contest in 1993. He touched his nose before he dunked. And so Shaquille O'Neal had a superstition too. Shaq said whenever he shot a free throw and it went in, he would try to do the same form every time. And so then Charles Barkley was like, so every time you miss one, you got yourself a new superstition. Man, you must have yourself a lot of superstitions, man. And so then Shaq went like, cut it out, man. I make one and it's one. And so then Charles Barkley said, okay, that's 50%. Yeah, man, some weird superstitions like Jerry Rice. I'm not Jerry Rice. Jerry Stackhouse had to eat gummy bears before every game. I kid you not. Jerry Stackhouse had to eat gummy bears before every game. So, yeah, go figure. All right, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I'm out of here. May God bless you all. Jesus Christ is Lord. Peace.